All right, everybody. Welcome back to Four Horsemen Comics and Gaming. We were able to find another match that was still going on. They have about 17 minutes left. We have on the left, back in the feature match area, Brian Huffman again on Jund, and John Aitken on the right again, back in the feature match with Jeskai Control.
I can guarantee that these players have not changed their decks. I'm going to run downstairs and pull that table into Brain's lap a little bit.
Yep. We also need to move the die a little bit. So here we are going into Game 3. Jund versus Jeskai Control. Kind of a typical matchup here, I guess, in Modern, where it's a little bit, I guess one-sided for the Jund player. I don't know. Jeskai can't really interact with all the discard spells. I've always never really liked playing when I've... Yeah, it's good. Playing the Jeskai Control match against Jund, I've never really liked being on the Jeskai Control side of the things, whereas John may actually like this particular matchup. I know I particularly don't.
Oh, that looks so much better. This, like, on paper, like, the typical academic response is Jund is favored.
Right, that's what I was saying.
So Jeskai Control used to be, like, one of the most popular decks in the format back when Sean McLaren won the Pro Tour, as we were talking about earlier.
Right.
And, like, the meta theory is that it was pushed out of the format by Jund and Obzon.
Right.
Right.
So, like I was saying before you had come back up, Ryan, was that I particularly don't like being on the Jeskai Control side of this game. Just for the simple fact that, like, the discard spells are so
The hand disruption is always live.
Right. So,
and if it's not live, they're losing.
And right. So, like, your counter spells don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, so they were gonna, if you counter the hand disruption spell, good. They wanted that card out of your hand anyways.
Inquisition you, take your Mana Leak, cast my Tarmogoyf.
Right.
So then the control player's like, I can Mana Leak the Inquisition, but then I don't have...
And here comes the Thoughtseize.
Yep.
And, well, here you go.
This is strong. So John reveals Lightning Bolt, Lightning Helix, Ghost Quarter, Geist of Saint Traff, Plains, Cryptic Command.
Yep. Huffman's going to go down to 17 off the Thoughtseize, though. I think you just take the Geist of Saint Traff here, honestly.
Geist, and then if you have another Thoughtseize to snag that Cryptic later.
I'm less worried about the Cryptic now.
You definitely take the Geist first, because he can.
You know he's going to untap, cast it.
Yeah, unless maybe if you get to play a Tarmogoyf, then I don't know.
Right, but right here he's not going to be able to because this is only his second. He's going to take the Cryptic Command.
I mean, if you get to follow this up with a Tarmogoyf, which basically Stone Cold.
Well, so Brian does have a Liliana in his hand.
Oh yeah, that's great too.
I guess that makes it sense to kind of take it, but little technical difficulty here on our life counter, but that's all right. We'll get that fixed up here, guys. John's going to fetch twice here with his two Flooded Strands to go get a Hollow Fountain and a Steam Vents, and from there he's going to untap, probably play the Plains into the Geist of Saint Traff,
which is going to get eaten up by a Liliana, it looks like.
Right. So, and then John will untap, probably Bolt the Liliana or Helix it.
Right.
And yeah, that's pretty much these next couple turns. Like, I think that we've just successfully navigated on.
That seems to be. I don't know what John could draw that would make him cast something else.
Right.
So,
especially if he may choose the Ghost Quarter instead of the Plains.
Yeah, that might be the one difference.
Oh,
right,
there
Plains,
we go.
Just as he drew it up. All right. Now, Brian does have a third land, correct?
Right.
He does.
He had lots of...
Yep. All right. Sakadu, that's how that song goes.
Yep.
All right.
Untap, play your land.
Ghost Quarter,
Bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's almost
pass the turn back.
You can tell this is like the mid-range mirror. Just, I play a thing, okay, I kill it. I play a thing, I kill it.
Exactly. So, now, Brian actually doesn't look like he has much left in his hand.
He's got lightning, I don't know, he's hiding it.
He had Lightning Bolt.
Blackleaf
Cliffs.
Thoughtseize.
Like,
Kitchen Finks is great.
Not happening.
Yeah. That's another way to one-for-one
Hey, look,
Kitchen Finks.
we've still successfully navigated these turns outside of the Mana Lake, which, I mean, I believe John drew after, was his first draw after the Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
So John's playing now an island, maybe just passing the turn back, leaving up something.
Are those cons basics?
I think they're just basics out of the land box.
Okay. That's fair. I respect that.
I don't.
Right. Brian has another Kitchen Finks.
Right. Brian has his basics that he plays are the
Euro lands.
The Euro Purple Pack,
Yeah,
more specifically.
Are very nice.
They are very pretty. They've got my favorite swamp art. They have one of my favorite island arts.
I would play with the APAC lands if they were in Japanese, which is a crime that they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you not have a Mount Fuji mountain?
How cool would it be
Japanese.
for like the European lands to be like in the European language? Like,
oh yeah, they should have a German one, an Italian one, a Spanish, like for sure.
Right. And there it is. There's the nice swamp that I was
swamp
talking.
is gorgeous. I love the forest too.
I don't play green cards, so I don't really know what that's like.
You might someday. All right.
I do in Commander.
Kitchen Finks.
Does that count?
That's because green is overpowered in Commander.
You're right.
Hands down, green and blue, best two colors in that format. No, not even like
right.
Prime Speaker Zagana, Deadeye Navigator, Prophet, which had to get banned, Seedborn Muse, like
yeah,
all nuts.
Seedborn Muse is still pretty rough.
Pretty strong.
The card that probably needs to be banned next is Cyclonic Rift.
I'm just gonna say Deadeye Navigator.
Deadeye or Cyclonic Rift.
Or both.
Yeah.
I don't think Cyclonic Rift is overpowered. I think it's just rude.
Right.
Okay, so John's going to go up to 21 from the Lightning Helix.
And so will Huffman.
Yeah, from the Kitchen Finks.
Thanks. Yep, so they both have 21 life.
And we could have seen a trick bind to stifle that
That would have been
trigger.
the spiciest thing I've seen all day, if that happened.
I got knocked out of a top 4 for a Grand Prix trial by Caleb Davis.
Because of a trick bind?
Because he trick bind my Kiki Jiki, and then I passed to him, and then he went off with mono blue turns. And that knocked me out of top 4 for Grand Prix Richmond GPT, which Brian won with the mono green Garrick Wildspeaker deck.
I remember that deck. That deck was a lot of fun. It was the Genesis Wave deck.
Yep, Genwave.
Yep, and then you Genwave and Emrakul.
And then he sold the Genwave deck at Grand Prix Richmond to buy Malirapod.
Oh, was it Malirapod that he went into?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then sold Pod into Jund, I believe.
Something like that.
So, he's played a lot of decks that are just really, really strong.
So he's fetching down to 20?
Yep, down to 20. It looks like at the end of John's turn. That Thoughtseize really hurt John. Like, you don't think about how just one discard spell can hurt the control deck, but it just... it does.
Not only in the fact that he took away his best card, but also that Brian was working with perfect for information.
Right. And I believe that there's Delirium. I may be wrong.
I would imagine, because he's got a Planeswalker, land creature, sorcery. Yeah, he has Delirium. So this is
Planeswalker creature.
This is attack for 6.
Yeah, and it's attack for 6. Now, we know that Brian has a Bolt in hand, which... deals with the Colonnade, but I still think you need to block that Grim Flare just to kind of like stop Brian from being able to get more value off of it.
You've got to force the issue. Like, he can't just play like Brain does have a Lightning Bolt.
Right.
He's got to make him cast his spells.
Right. He's just gonna take the 6 and
he's gonna take the 6. Okay. He's gonna go down to 15.
Yep. I think I still would have blocked with the Colonnade or the Grim Flare.
If he has. Maybe if he has the spell to cast at the end of Brian's turn, maybe not.
I think he just has an island in hand, though.
Okay, then I would probably activate the Colonnade. You've got to force some action here.
Right. Now, if this is like a Think Twice or something, cool. But I'm pretty sure it's an island.
Well, if it's a Think Twice, you could activate Colonnade, block, and then before damage, cast the Think Twice.
So here's Chandra. Well,
and now this is where we're wrong. If John has like a counter spell for this Chandra, doesn't look like it. I think it does look like he has one card that's probably the island, like you said.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chandra resolves.
He's gonna tick up. Not sure exactly what Brian's looking for out of his deck box there. For those of you who don't know, we're gonna pull up Chandra, Torch of Defiance. here on the screen, so you can kind of get an idea of what she does. Looks like he's going to plus it, reveal the top card of his library, which he knew about. Oh, no. I guess he didn't know because he cleared the top with his...
Yeah, he cleared the top with the Grim... No, well, two cards go to the graveyard and one stays on top, and he drew that card.
Okay. And then, so he then, plus Chandra, wasn't able to cast the Raging Ravine, so John actually takes 2 down to 13. So, Chandra, Torch of Defiance, she's just bonkers. I played her the other day in Painter.
How was that?
I got to ultimate her against lands.
Was this at the Sanctum Prelate?
Yes, this was at the Sanctum Prelate event, and then I cast 4 Pyroblasts out of my hand just for value. To deal 5 damage per spell cast.
Last week or the week before, we ran a Legacy event where first place got a foil Sanctum Prelate. Now, I'm just not going at the Sanctum Prelate. It was like, that's a little confusing, so just explain that for you.
Right, so, and then I killed my opponent by casting Pyroblast.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Targeting my own lands.
Painter does some silly, silly things.
It does, and it was great. I became a huge fan of Chandra Torch of Defiance. I already like Chandra, but...
Are you playing that in addition to Koth? Or...
Actually, most players have removed Koth from the deck.
From the red-white version?
From the red-white version.
Still playing it in mono-red, though, right?
Mono-red does, because mono-red plays more mountains than the non-red
Is she
version.
taking, like, the Duretti slot?
Actually, we don't play Duretti. Like, she kind of just took over, like, the flex spot. And, some versions...
The flex spot that could be Duretti, or...
That could be Duretti, could be engineered explosives, could be...
I've seen people play P and Kier Noir.
I've played that, too. There's about 2 to 3 slots in the deck that just have that extra value of... You can basically play anything. The main deck has feels like a lot of flex spots when you say 4... About 2 to 4 flex spots. It feels like a lot in a deck that is streamlined for Legacy.
Well, I mean, you play tutors. I mean,
you play tutors.
Yeah. You have Divine Top.
Right, exactly. So.
All right, here's the block now.
Yep, I think it should have came a turn sooner. I could have been wrong.
All right, so
Chandra's going to tick up again.
Yep.
It's going to reveal.
Celestial Colonnade's a 4/4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was briefly under the impression that it was a 3/3, but it is definitely a 4/4. Brain's going to follow that up with a Scavenging Ooze
that he got off the Chandra.
Which, while John is tapped out, which is great, because this is just going to, as long as that's in play, if he can get it out of bolt range now.
Yep.
Which it looks like he can. All right, so Brain's going to gain 2, go up to 21, and make his Skoos a 5/5 or 4/4. Which I would not be surprised if that Skoos just runs away with this game.
Right.
John's going to need a Path to Exile stat or 2 burn. He's going to have to 2 for himself.
Or even just a Supreme Verdict.
Or a Supreme Verdict, yeah. But now that it's out of bolt range, that's rough.
Now he definitely needs the Supreme Verdict.
Yeah, he needs the Supreme Verdict. Or Path into Snapcaster.
And he has the Rest in Peace.
Rest in Peace. All right, Rest in Peace will take care of Tarmogoyf.
It also slows down the Scavenging Ooze.
It's still out of bolt range, but it won't get any bigger.
It slows it down. Which is huge. Right. And, Goyf is a Squire, which he can now...
John, now don't forget those Enter the Battlefield triggers on that Rest in Peace.
He got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
He knows.
So he's going to deal 1 to the Tarmogoyf, which kills the Tarmogoyf.
He killed a Tarmogoyf with an Electrolyze. Achievement unlocked!
Drew a card. John's trying to decide what he wants to do with that card in his hand, but I don't know if there's anything he can do.
All 19 people in this stream just saw that Tarmogoyf die to the Electrolyze.
Yep.
All right, so Brain's going to crash in with Scavenging Ooze down to 8.
And then here's the Chandra again. I think at this point you're just plussing Chandra, not casting the cards.
I mean,
it increases the clock.
Yeah.
That's a 2-turn clock if he doesn't cast this right here.
Yeah.
Granted, I can't tell what that is on top here.
It's a Thoughtseize.
Yeah, so I probably just don't cast this. And he has the bolt in hand. Yeah, so yeah, just hit him for 2.
Hit him for 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bolt you at the end of your turn. Unless John rips the,
He probably just bolts him now while he's helped. No, he's not helped. He's got 1 card.
Now, if he ripped the...
So is that a top? It's not a top.
Not a top.
It's a Flooded Strand and
a Path, I believe.
I swear that was a... I swear that was a divine
tough.
top. I get to go down there.
Here's the path.
All right, path on the Scoos.
Scoos.
This is still like, he's still going to get to do 5 to him, right?
Yeah, he's still dead.
Yeah.
He just doesn't know it yet, which is fine. I think this was a tough matchup for John anyways.
Yeah. It's definitely winnable.
Right. He didn't have an answer to this Chandra, which, like I said, she just...
Planeswalkers are good against control decks.
Right.
They're hard to answer. They accrue value every turn they're out.
Now, that's the one thing I do like about the Mardu deck that we were talking about earlier.
You get to play Chandra.
Well, not just that, but you get to play, like, Dreadbore.
Oh, yeah.
Or Hero's Downfall.
Yeah.
Which, they're both really good, and they deal with the things that the deck can't deal with, which is the Chandras or the Lilies.
So, John is now empty-handed, right?
I believe so.
He played the Flooded Strand.
I think Brian is in the I still had all of these mode.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter. I'm just clarifying.
He's just showing off.
So +1, discards his mountain.
Yeah, I still had all of these. Come on.
Okay, so he's going to discard that.
Yep.
He's going to
plus
reveal.
Don't cast it.
Dark Confidant.
Don't cast. He's at 5. Unless, he's at 6.
No, he's at 6.